$100 million if you beat me at chess. The billionaire laughed. Not a polite laugh. Not a nervous laugh. A loud, confident, echoing laugh that filled the hall. You? He said, shaking his head. You want to challenge me? The little girl did not answer. She simply looked at the chessboard. The crowd began to gather. Phones went up. Whispers spread like fire. This was not a game. This was entertainment. At least that's what everyone thought. Before we continue, pause for a second. Tell me in the comments where you are watching from and what time it is in your city right now. Now let's begin. The hall was bright with afternoon light. Crystal chandeliers reflected across polished floors. Wealth lived in this place. And right in the center sat a chess table. Behind the girl stood her mother, a maid. Her uniform was simple, clean, but worn from years of work. Her hands were clasped tightly together, not from fear alone, from hope. The billionaire adjusted his expensive watch and leaned back in his chair. If you win, he said boldly, I will give you $1 million. Gasps spread through the room. $1 million. To a maid's daughter. The girl gently arranged the chess pieces. Her fingers were steady, calm, controlled, too calm. The billionaire smirked. Let's not waste time. He made the first move, fast, confident, like a man who had never truly lost. The girl studied the board, silent. Then she moved. It was simple, but it was not careless. The billionaire blinked once. Interesting. He responded immediately, more aggressive now. He expected fear. He expected hesitation. He expected a child. But she gave him none of that. Her eyes stayed on the board, focused, clear, as if she could see something no one else could. Behind her, her mother swallowed hard. She remembered nights, long nights, when the house was quiet, when her daughter practiced with an old, broken chess set someone had thrown away. She remembered sacrifice, skipping meals, saving coins, protecting a dream no one else could see. Back at the table, the tension thickened. The girl moved again, precise. The billionaire's smile faded slightly. He leaned forward now, studying, calculating. This was no longer funny. The crowd noticed. The whispers changed tone. What is happening? She's good. No, she's very good. The billionaire attacked strongly, pushing his pieces forward with force. He wanted control back. But her response came instantly, sharp, exact, turning his attack into weakness. A small murmur moved through the audience. The maid pressed her trembling hands together. Pride and fear mixed inside her chest. This was not just about money. This was about dignity. The billionaire laughed again. But this time, there was tension in it. He adjusted his tie. The girl calmly moved her bishop. Softly, like someone placing the final piece of a puzzle. For the first time, doubt touched his eyes. Only for a second. But it was there. He studied the board again. Longer this time. His fingers hovered over a piece. Then stopped. The room grew quieter. He moved his queen. Strong. Dominant. The kind of move that usually ends games. The girl did not panic. She moved a pawn. Just a pawn. But the effect was immediate. Gasps. Phones lifted higher. The billionaire removed his glasses slowly. Now he understood. This was not luck. This was skill. Real skill. He shifted in his chair. The rhythm of the game was no longer his. She controlled it. Every time he pushed, she closed. Every time he attacked, she trapped. He leaned back and exhaled. The maid closed her eyes for a moment, whispering a silent prayer. The billionaire made a bold sacrifice. He gave up a major piece. The crowd reacted loudly. Was this genius or desperation? The girl paused for the first time. Only 1 second. Then she captured. Clean. Exact. His sacrifice failed. A low wave of disbelief spread across the room. The billionaire's jaw tightened. He looked at the board again and again, searching. There had to be a mistake. There was none. Each line led to the same truth. He was losing. The girl continued. Move by move. Simple. Direct. Inevitable. The air felt heavy. No one spoke now. Arrogance was dissolving in real time. He moved his king carefully. Slower now. She looked up at him for the first time. Not with pride. Not with mockery. Just calm. Respectful calm. Then she moved her rook. The position became clear. He had one move left. One. The billionaire stared at the board. The room waited. The maid covered her mouth gently. Tears filled her eyes. Not because of money, because of what this moment meant. He touched his king, then stopped, then touched it again. Finally, he placed it down. Checkmate. No shouting. No celebration. Just silence. Deep, powerful silence. The billionaire sat still. Then he nodded once. Slowly, he stood up, walked around the table, and extended his hand. Well played, he said quietly. The girl shook his hand. Her grip steady, her face humble. The crowd began to clap. Not loud at first, then stronger. Not for the fall of wealth, but for the rise of courage. The billionaire turned to the audience. My arrogance blinded me, he admitted. Talent does not ask for permission. It simply exists. He turned back to the girl. I keep my promises. He signaled his assistant. The $1 million would be transferred immediately. But he did not stop there. He looked at the maid. For years you worked in silence, he said. Now your daughter will study in the best schools. Fully sponsored. No barriers. The maid broke into tears. Quiet tears. Relief. Gratitude. Justice. Reporters rushed forward. Cameras flashed. But something deeper had already happened. Inside the billionaire, something shifted. He had built empires. He had conquered industries. But today, he was humbled by a child. The girl packed the chess pieces slowly, carefully, as if nothing extraordinary had happened, as if this was simply another game. She walked beside her mother out of the hall, not richer in pride, but stronger in truth. That night, the billionaire could not sleep. He replayed every move in his mind. Not the moves on the board, the moves in his life. How many times had he laughed at people? How many times had he dismissed quiet potential? The next morning, he made changes. Scholarship programs, talent foundations, opportunities for children no one noticed. Because true wealth, he realized, is not in money. It is in recognition. It is in respect. Years later, that girl would become a grandmaster. But that day, she had already won something greater. She had won dignity, and she had awakened a heart protected by pride. Some victories change scoreboards. Others change souls. If this story moved you like this video, subscribe to the channel and join us for the next powerful story. Because sometimes, the quietest person in the room is the strongest one at the table.